4-6, isosceles and equilateral triangle notes. So we're going to deviate a little bit here from the congruent triangles, and we're going to focus specifically just on isosceles and equilateral triangles. So the first thing we want to do is focus on this first example being an isosceles. Now, why is it isosceles? We have two sides the same. So there's a theorem that says when two sides of a triangle are the same, then the opposite angles are the same. So all that means is if that angle's opposite that side in 32, since this side is the same as that other one, then that means x must be 32 as well. Okay, what about in number 2? Number 2 is an equilateral. All three sides are the same. So what we've learned is that in an equilateral, all the angles are 60 degrees. So that means angle 2 down here, which is x plus 68, must also equal 60 degrees. So we solve, and if we solve, 60 minus 68 is negative 8. So x would be negative 8. In other words, if I plug negative 8 in here, that would make angle 2 be 60 degrees. Alright, let's continue on. Okay, in these, there's also a reverse theorem, which says if opposite angles are congruent, the little arcs, then the opposite sides are congruent. In other words, if that side is 12 from that angle, since this angle's the same, then x must also be 12. That side is 12. Okay, same thing here. That side is 8. That side's x plus 2, so 8 has to equal x plus 2. And then we solve the equation, subtract 2, we get 6 is x. Okay, what about this problem? Alright, this one's a little bit different. This takes us back to one of the theorems we learned earlier about the exterior angle. And what we learned was that the exterior angle equals the two remote interior added together. In other words, if I cover all that up, if that angle right here is 132, then what that means is this has to be 48. Now, why is that? These two make a line, and a line equals 180. Now that I know that that's 48, I can figure out what these two angles are. Now, how do I do that? Well, since it's isosceles, I know they have to equal each other. So I can do 180 minus 48, which is the 132, the exterior angle. So the exterior angle, remember, had to equal the two remote added together. Well, if they're equal, then all I'm going to do is divide that by 2, which would be 61. So that means this is 61 degrees, and this angle is 61 degrees. Now, since that angle is 61, that tells me what I have to do with x plus 73. That has to equal what that angle is, which is 61. Then I solve, subtract 73, and I get x is negative 12. Okay, let's do this one. This time, I don't have to do that exterior angle because I already know this one's 50. So that means that angle is 50 also because these sides are equal. So then all I'm going to do is take this, 58 plus x, set it equal to 50. I'm going to solve, subtract 58 from both sides, and then I get x is negative 8. So the main points to remember here, and I'm going to write this down below that you need to know. First, an isosceles triangle the two sides are equal and the two opposite angles are equal. In an equilateral triangle, and remember equilateral is also equiangular, so you might see the word equiangular as well. In an equilateral triangle, all the sides are equal and all the angles, and specifically all the angles are 60 degrees. But again, that's only in an equilateral. And you're going to use those relationships to solve problems just like we did.